to shift gear a little bit. I want to touch on your incredible global mindset. I mean, from the get-go, after 3 months of Retuala, you were already outside seeking support, not locally but internationally. Maybe it's a generational difference, but it doesn't seem like geography or boundaries apply to you. Teach me. What's that all about? I mean, you have friends all over the world. You are very much global, although you're in the Philippines.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful that I've reached that point as well. But like, to how did it happen?
Yeah, that's the main question.
The word is resourcefulness. I didn't have a lot of resources.
You did not.
I did not.
Right.
I don't have the social capital that I needed. I didn't have financial capital that I needed. I believed in our model, and I believe that like the internet is such a big world, and there's so many opportunities out there if you're carefully seeking and intentionally seeking for them. So that's what I did. Like, I looked for so many opportunities that I can apply, so that I can learn and find the people that I needed to help me support.
How easy was it?
Not easy at all.
So
it's like,
for every one person that say yes to you, there would have been 20, 30 no?
100.
No kidding.
No kidding.
So you just kept on at it.
Yes.
Seeking.
Yes.
Why are you seeking help outside and not locally?
Well, primarily because our clients are outside. Like the outsourcing clients that we have, they're overseas. Because if we rely on outsourcing clients locally in the Philippines, the minimum wage in the Philippines is completely different from the minimum wage in Australia.
So it's not sustainable.
So it's not sustainable.
Right.
So that's primarily the reason why I need to look for networks outside the Philippines. And so then I was given this scholarship to go. And like after that journey on the demo day, and Benjamin was there, it's like I'm on the first place out of 21 contestants from 15 different countries, which fully validated that like there is a potential in this work.
For the Retuala idea.
Correct. And that created opened so many possibilities to me, because before there's just too many impossibles for this.
Right.
But when you see one possibility,
so there was validation
Correct.
at a very high level when it's being validated.
Yes.
Somewhere outside of your country, it means that it's good.
Yes, it's also an impact of a post-colonial mindset.
Wow.
But unfortunately, we suffered that here in the Philippines when the startup scene is very early stage here. Not a lot of people took us very seriously for the sole reason that we come from Davao in the southern part of the Philippines, and then started a venture. And
so it's like an outskirt. It's not even the main part.
Exactly, right? And I was 22 when I started the venture. And nobody would just take you that seriously. But when we get the international recognition, there's an article in Berlin Morning Post written, and that's when you go back to the Philippines, and now people were starting to knock on your doors.
So the trick is to get recognized outside and you get. No, I don't think it's just Philippines. I think the phrase that local heroes are hardly ever celebrated. It applies everywhere.
Sure.
Yeah. So what was the turning point for Retuala?
What do you mean the turning point for Retuala?
Yeah. How did it gain traction? How did people start recognizing that this is the place for me to get my second chance? How did you get endorsement or sponsorship or help or recognition from outside, from the community in the Philippines as well as everywhere else?
Because we continue to do what we are supposed to do after failing twice. Retuala did a reset twice in 4 years, which means we went back to zero, even negative, twice.
Wow.
One, when we lost our local partner, a big organization of outsourcing professionals in Davao, and then we separated from them. And that's when we turned our model, because during that time, for 1.5 years, Retuala was doing an in-person training. Mm-hmm. They go in a classroom every day, and then we train. After that, we lost all our physical assets. And what's left of us is our curriculum and our brand.
Wow.
Nothing more. So we have to innovate, because we don't have a training center anymore. Mm-hmm. That's when we innovated into okay, can we deliver the same quality of training online?
Through video screen.
Through video screen.
Wow.
And so we worked for 2 months to redesign the entire model and launched it again. And that's actually it's the exact reason why we scaled so fast, because now for those people in wheelchair who couldn't go to our training center because it's not as accessible, they cannot participate. And that's when we completed. Before, we only have 10% persons with disability, 90% everybody. And we shifted that around to 90% persons with disability, and we only give 10% slots.
And that's in line with your original vision.
Exactly.
Wow.
Because before, we just couldn't cater to all 100% persons with disability.
So it sounds like a perfect storm for you.
Yes.
So had your previous partner not left you,
yes,
you would still have been where you were.
Yes, we still be a traditional training center as it is right now.
That's amazing.
And then the well-being session component wasn't added until during that first year.
So tell me the idea of the well-being session.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like common sense, but I'm sure when you came out with the idea, there would have been people calling names. That's crazy. That's because it doesn't add tangibly to the knowledge equation.
And it's so difficult to measure.
Absolutely.
Yes. But
and you're saying that it's probably one of the most important component of the success.
If not the most important.
Yeah.
Yes. And the reason is I have, other than having hepatitis, I have a lot of other issues. Yes. Yeah. And Retuala has become the safe space for me to actually confront and deal with them in a way that I know I will receive no judgment. Mm-hmm. And I found that in the community myself. So it has become therapeutic for me. And if it worked for me, then use that same analogy again. Chances are it may work for others.
So when it sounds almost like AA meetings.
Exactly. It's I've been to AA and NA meetings. Yes.
What is NA?
Narcotics Anonymous.
Oh really?
Yes.
And you drink? You don't?
No, because we work with recovering drug addicts, inmates, and we're invited in many of the community events as well.
So you adopt, you steal the models.
We only joined that later on, last year.
Okay.
Right. Because we only expanded working with those communities very recently, as well, after we perfected the model for persons with disability. Wow. But that's when I found out our well-being session is very, very similar to this. And the whole concept of support group is not as common in the Philippines compared to many other countries. So we created that support group model, but at the same time, it should be community-led. And it should, I'm part of the global well-being facilitator at Ashoka, Changemaker Exchange. And that's how I got the knowledge and tools.